Okay, so out for my first little flight with this one. I'm just going to go quick line of sight and hopefully record what it's seeing as well. I do like the look of this one, but I think without those LEDs you would lose it so easy, where it's just literally matte black everywhere. So we'll just see how we go. Oh, it's got that little rump to it. Yeah, has it just? Oh yeah, nice and recoverable. Oh yeah, lovely. Nice. Oh, it's really difficult to see here. It's a perhaps I'll bring it around the front of the house. There we go. So flipping no problem at all in stabilise. See if I can do a nice gentle slow one there. Bit of a faster one there. God, it's really difficult even for me to see, let alone the camera. That was it, I guess. That little black blurry thing. Yeah, the LEDs are not good. It's not really a line of sight thing, is it? But I just like to have a play with both. So this is a horizon mode, so now we've got a lot more control with it. There we go, so it flips a... Whoa, 3 or 4 there. So we can do it nice and fast. Whoa! Oh, we can do the full test against the house. Always a good idea. Honestly can't see the orientation, which is kind of difficult. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, he's a nice little flyer. It's got a real buzz to it as well with its flight pattern. And totally recoverable. Now let's try it in a bit of air. I didn't alter the actual the beeper is going off way too early, I think. Anyway, a nice little flyer. Whoa, that orientation is really difficult. I'm sure the camera's not even picking it up. I'll keep it down here and then hopefully you'll see it. It's damn good fun, always getting really anxious on the beep beep beeps, isn't it? So perhaps I ought to bring it in. Well, there we go. So next one is going to be FPV. Oh, I think this thing's going to be a load of fun. Oh, there we go. We've really gone now. Okay, so out for my first flights, and basically just going to start off in stabilised, nice and gentle, and as soon as you take off you just feel confident with this thing. It's just nice and smooth, really controllable. Flick it around into air because I want to get out and just see how it goes. You know, boys and their toys, eh? And it's just really smooth, nice and controllable. I didn't have any problems on tight turns and things with it. It didn't sort of cut in too tight, and it didn't drift out too much either. It was just really lovely. Sorry about the breakup on the transmission on the screen. I think that's pure. I must have been just on a ghost channel or just one channel out or something or other. I don't know what it was. I did try 3 different pairs of goggles playing around in the garden throughout the review, and I got them all tuned up, no problem at all. I just didn't pay that much attention. I just let it auto search rather than actually put it on a specific channel. And then back into stabilised, because I realised I hadn't really done much in stabilised, and you can fly really slow and precise. I mean, I know some people fly these sort of things indoors. I like the outdoors, to be honest, and my garden's great for flying as far as I'm concerned. So I go out any opportunity I can, but I'm pretty sure in stabilised you could easily fly this thing around indoors. You wouldn't have any problems at all. Just not my bag, really. So there we go. And as you can see, everything can be done nice and slow and precise in stabilised. I really enjoyed flying it. Yeah, the whole flying experience with the whole thing was absolutely brilliant. I'll just do a quick couple of buzzes of me and then just pop it down on the ground, and then we're into the second flight. So as you can see, just pop it down. Thank you very much. Yeah, nice and easy. As you can see, weather changes real quick in Scotland, so had the battery charged up, and off we go again, sort of thing. And it's a little note to myself there who's flying: if you're in stabilised and you want to flick to air, don't do it when you're pitching forward, because you just literally bites in and almost grab the ground as it went past. And as you can see now, getting bit more feel for it and everything, it is just a lovely flyer. It's really nice. This doesn't look that fast actually, and even the ones that I did later on that I thought were really fast, you know, when you're flying it, you feel like you're doing 200 miles an hour. When you're actually when you look at it on playback, you're like, oh, like 10 miles an hour. I'm not the best flipper in the world in air, for sure, and just because I don't practice it really, I guess that's what I'm blaming it on. So I don't, and my garden isn't particularly good for flipping. If you go slightly disorientated or anything, you've got either a tree, a branch, or something large that will just eat your quad. And if I go up high to do the slow rolls and things, I can get in above the trees, and then you've got real problems if you hit one of those trees. So yeah, it's not coming back down basically. Or if you do that, yeah. And this is my durability test. As you can see, the camera's just tilted up out the way. You can't even see the prop guards down the bottom. So just push the camera back down. It just literally nudged it round. So but there's no damage on the lens or anything. The camera performed pretty well, and the only thing was we had some sort of dark days, and as you can see, they do struggle in low lighting conditions. These sort of cameras do. I've had it quite a lot, and as you see, we've got a setting sun there, so it's really quite dark. Somebody mentioned that you can't flip and roll quads in stabilised mode, and I've been flipping quads, sorry, since my very first quads in stabilised, no problem at all. So I've never tried it on FPV, so I thought, well, I'll give it a bit of a go. I've tried it a couple of times, and again, just nice little navigation back to get back down, so I actually know where my area is then. Yeah, and I didn't bother with Horizon. Yeah, this run I'm not doing Horizon. I bet next week I'll change my mind and said Horizon's the best thing since sliced bread. But at the moment, I just wanted to give it a real good bat around, and it was just such fun, and it's just so controllable. But it sort of runs away with you, purely because that it sort of gets you into that, yeah, a bit faster, but it's really good fun. I love the way it flies, and I didn't, like I say, I didn't get any of those sort of dropouts. You never felt unconfident with it. I mean, it can outperform me without any problem on 2S. So on 3S, it would just eat me alive, I think, around the garden. But yeah, lovely. So the next ones, I mean, even the power dive there's absolutely no problem at all. It just copes, and you could recover it. That was the nice thing. Nice smooth throttle on it, and it was just lovely. So I don't know if the PIDs could be improved. I don't know. I wouldn't know where to even start with those. So to me, it flies absolutely fine with no problems at all. So as you see, there's prop guards on, and then yeah, I'll take you into the studio and show what happens next.
Okay, I'm doing a partway through review look at the quad. I'm sort of laughing, but I shouldn't really be. I've had a few big offs and crashes, as you do, when you're reviewing, and I thought these prop guards were going to be really quite good, and actually they've just all sort of pulled to bits. So they're nothing like the King Kong ET series, which are really good prop guards. I thought these were going to be similar. They seem to have the flex in them, and they've got the design along here as well, which I thought was good, but they just haven't got the strength. I mean, I've had some serious offs with it, but to be honest, the ET100 had equally as good. So I'm not overly impressed with the prop guards. They are all coming off. As you can see here, the antenna has obviously caught down into here, I would imagine, and that's sort of stripped that off, so it's a little bit wobbly. I need to put a little cable tie up there or something or other to protect it. And the other thing you might have noticed, for the astute amongst you, somehow or other the props are absolutely shot, to be honest. Virtually all of them are. So there we go, swapped these over. They've got some little motor protectors there. I don't think I've got them on any of my other quads, but I thought I'd give it a quick go on here. And obviously just swap the props over. I'm not sure these props are any better than the other ones, because I think they're both pretty sort of brittle. As you can see here, you get a little bit of movement on them and they just snap off, sort of thing. So I can't find any better ones that I've got in the pack actually, and these are about the same. So we will see how we get on with it. Hang on a minute, that's not quite Tigger colours. Hey, that's more like it. Let's fly. Okay, so you've seen how it flies and performs. You've also seen how I fly and perform. It performs better, way better. Okay, and now I'm going to run through what you get with it and the specs and basically everything like that. So if you stayed this far through, this might be of interest to you, certainly. It comes with the 4 prop guards all fitted on, and as you saw in the middle there, I took them off because mine are basically all annihilated. There's only one that's actually held together. It took some serious impacts. I mean, this thing gets a shift on, for my level anyway, definitely. And when it hits a 100-year-old tree that's 140 foot high and massive, great girth on it, it don't move. So when this thing hits it at whatever speed it's doing, yes, it could get annihilated. Having said that, normal flying, if you're not hitting big trees, if you're doing race gates and stuff like that, you wouldn't have any troubles with it at all. And I'm sure of just hitting the ground and stuff like that, I don't think you'd have any issues at all. They are pretty good, the prop guards, but in honesty, they're not as good as the ones on the King Kong ET100. They're way stronger, but that's a lot slower flying. And I'll show you some footage now of sort of comparing the two up. I just ran 2 videos of them so you can actually see the difference, and it is a lot slower flying. I love both of them, but for very different reasons. Having said that about incidents, it's a 3mm frame and honestly not a mark on it, and I have literally just hammered this into a tree, not intentionally at all. It's just, I've just misjudged something, got distracted or something's happened, and it's done it. But honestly, there is not anything on there. I really thought I'd have cracked this because it's not that big there, and it is a good 3mm frame, so no, I'm totally impressed with that. The specs on it, it's 1104 and there's 7500 kV motors, and I've not had any issues at all with the whole thing, as you can see. It's 4-in-1 ESC and they're BL Heli, and it's a D-Shot and it's 20 amp. It says maximum 2-inch props, and it actually comes with 2-inch props. I've actually been running it on 1935s only because that's all I've got. I've ordered some more 2-inch, but honestly didn't notice any difference at all. I'm quite happy running it on this all day long. And these are much better props. These are either King Kong or race style ones, and I'll put links down in descriptions to what I've used. These ones that come with it, they sort of, they seem okay actually when you first start, but once they actually get a little bit of bend on them, you can't bend them back. They just shatter, they sort of shatter and give up. They're absolutely useless on an impact, but I suppose that saves the motors. These also screw in, and the ones I'm using here, the King Kong ones, they don't. They just literally push on. So you could put the screws on, but they're so tight. I don't do it. I've never had any issues with them at all. But you could put the screws on if you wanted to. But these, if they bend and everything, you can just bend them straight back, and they seem much more resilient. It's got a 48 channel TX, and it's 25 milliwatts or 600 they say. I haven't tried changing it over. 25 milliwatts works fine around my garden, absolutely no problems. With 600 would be awesome. I mean, just massive amount of power, but I haven't bothered with that. You might have noticed we've got a little stubby here. We've got the stubby here, which is quite normal for the transmitter, but I've got a stubby here for the receiver as well, purely because they left it out really long, which it should be, and it got caught in the prop. So if you're going for this one, I would definitely recommend that you put a little cable tie through there before your first flight, through that hole, just down through there, and then just hold this on so that it doesn't come down, because I think it just deflected down, caught the prop up against something or other and just ripped it out, and I couldn't repair it, so I've just literally stripped it back, and that works fine. I can get nearly 100 meters with that as it is, so it suits me fine. Mine actually came with Frisky XM receiver, and you have to take this frame apart to get in there, but they do a plug and play, and I think they're only doing the plug and play now, so you would have to take this off to actually get it soldered in and everything. I literally just undid these plates, pulled it out. You could lever up these two plastic plates here to get in for the bind button. Mentioning the bind button, they say the bind button is this one here on the side. They actually show it quite clearly in the instructions, and there it is just there. And they say that's your binding button. That is not. That changes the channel and the bands for the transmitter. So yes, I didn't think it was. I didn't even try it, to be honest. I checked out what was in there, so that's fine. And the flight controller is normally bus F3, and it's got Betaflight with OSD on it and a buzzer as well. The buzzers I find absolutely awesome around my garden because it can go in anywhere under leaves and things, and I can always find it. The OSD I'm not really that bothered about, but I know some of the guys really want all the info and everything like that. They don't do anything for me, to be perfectly honest, but if it's there I use it, that's fine. We've got 700 TVL camera, and I did find it pretty good. It works well. You can change the angle quite a bit, and I found that sort of angle was working really nicely for me, just for my level of flying. It's an HD, and it's 1/4 inch CMOS as well, and typical with these cameras in the Highlands in winter, when the sun starts to really go down, sort of 3:30, something like that, you start to really run out of resolution and everything. It just can't cope with a very low light, and that's fine. I haven't found any that have actually coped with that particularly well. Like I say, you've got buzzer on board, and it does take 2 or 3S. I've only run it on 2S. I've run it on a little 450 milliamp hour 2S, and I've found it blisteringly fast and really good fun. For me, for my level, it's absolutely fine. Whether or not I'll go up 3S, I don't know. I'm just enjoying it as it is, and it certainly gets a shift on like that. So much so with the shift on and everything, I put the battery around here and then loop it round. And actually when I skimmed the house a couple of times, I literally just burnt the connector off here with skinning the house. So I've had to put a little bit of shrink wrap on there just to repair it. I will repair it. I've ordered another one, so I'll just replace that as well, sort of thing. But everything seems really nice on it. I really like it. It's quite limited what you get. You literally get eight props, and it's all assembled, so you've got 4 props on, you've got the 4 prop guards on, you get a bunch of screws with it as well. You get these, which I'm not too sure what on earth they are, but you've got 5 of those, which is kind of weird. I don't know what on earth they use those for. And you get the instructions as well, which are actually pretty reasonable. But I did notice they've literally just blacked that out with a pen, and it actually, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, it says Falcon CP90 on there. So if anyone's questioning what this was before, that's what it was. Or it's a direct one from it, and they've certainly nicked the information. And I like the way they've even put sort of blacked it out there as well. So yeah, and it ran through, you know, what's set up in Betaflight and everything, but very basic. There was a tiny little Betaflight setup on it, which I try and avoid because I really want to find the ultimate just sort of plug and play one. But I'll show you what I did in that next.
Okay, so just plug the quad using, and you don't even get the cable for this actually, with the micro USB into USB into the side of my laptop. I've connected up, I've just turned on the transmitter as well, so they're all bound and everything, gone through all the beeps and everything. I'm going to keep the beeps to a minimum on this because this thing is seriously loud, and you have to take the covers off to get into shut the beeper down, put something over it, so I'm just going to keep it to a minimum. I honestly haven't done anything with it. I'm just going to move the quad so you can sort of see, you know, it's all moving, all connected up, no problem at all. You don't actually have to plug the battery in to check out your transmitter on this one, which I was really pleased about. And if there's people shouting at the screen why you do and why you don't, I don't know. Some of them I have to plug in the battery to actually check the transmitter, some I don't. And it's been fine with me, so I just do it if it needs it, sort of thing. Going into the ports, these are all set, so everything is more or less set as is. I haven't altered anything. I'm not a Betaflight sort of person. It's not a techie channel, as I said. It was on D-Shot 600. I honestly can't remember whether this one was on or off, but yeah, I might have popped it there. That would be the only thing. And then the name of the craft actually is a GoFly CP90. That was what their default one was. So that shows you what this craft is. And obviously they've changed it to the QAV95. So that's just, yeah, they haven't even bothered to change it in here. And in the on the actual manual, all they did was use a black felt tip to cover it up. So, but I'm very pleased with it, so I don't care what they call it, whatever they like, it flies well. And these were already in the correct ones as well. And then everything was switched on down here as well, which is, yeah, everything seemed fine. So onto the power, I didn't alter anything here. PIDs I left as is, and I quite like the way it flies, so I'm sure some people will be looking at it saying you need to alter this, you need to alter that. But yeah, to be honest, it was good. Yeah, I might do some playing around. If people want to pop down their PIDs that they use, then yep, I might have a look at them. But to be honest, I've really enjoyed it. So, and then onto the receiver, I'm just going to move the throttle up and down. As you can see, that's working fine. And then pitch and roll, and then. The only thing I think I did have to alter was here. I think I had to put it on TAER because that's what my transmitter setup is. And then this was absolutely blank. There was nothing in here at all. So added the arm range, and that's on auxiliary 1. So just flick that. That's what I'm trying to avoid, that beeper. I will run through the switches. So that's arm, and on that one, angle mode is on a 3-way switch, so it's on angle, then I pop it into horizon, and then if I scroll down, you can see here, if I pop it into its 3rd position, it goes into air mode. Sometimes I put acro on it. Just depends what I do. If it's already on there, I just leave it. If I don't have to come into Betaflight, I don't touch it, to be perfectly honest. And then because this one's got a beeper, I really like beepers on quads. And this I've got this on a 3-way switch, but it's just a center one there, so I just flick it into the center and off it goes. So that was all I had to set up. But basically in the whole thing, but I'm just showing you through it because I know some of the guys like to see what's set up where. The OSDs, I just turned off the horizon, the sidebars and all that, and I just left it on the little crosshairs in the middle, which even them I'm starting to not use it. I'll probably take those off as well, because I used to line up to miss trees or go between gaps, and now it's just a case of you just either do or you don't, really. The crosshairs don't save you from anything. And again, so I could change the name back in there so that it comes up to what it actually is, a QAV95, but yeah, I'll leave it as what they've put it on. I know what it is when I'm looking back at any footage and everything. And obviously whenever you're doing any changes, just make sure you save it, and in some of the areas you have to save and reboot. So. And that's all I do. So I've done basically nothing, but it just shows you the setup that's there. Okay, just thought I'd finish off with a bit more footage and my final thoughts on it. I'm guessing you already know what I think about it. I absolutely adore it. It is a great, robust little quad and seriously good fun. I will be trying it on 3S. Whether or not I publish that or whether or not it will survive it, I don't know. But I thought I'd finish off with 4 big ones. Here we come. There's 1, 2... oh, mind that big tree. 3, and here's the major one, 4. And what did the quad look like afterwards? Not even a scratch.